Everybody, what's up? How's it going? That's cool. My chat's all frozen up. There we go. Got Donald, Rex, Carmen, Ivan, Key. Let's see, Kevin, Robert, Don, Dan, Diana, and Diane. Welcome, everybody. Kimberly, my favorite subscriber. Ted, good to see you as always. Thanks for jumping in today, Ted, and explaining that little bit on TradingView. I do appreciate everybody helping everybody. Laura, good to see you as always. And popping up, get the right slideshow. Oh, cool. What happened? There we go. And share this. And welcome to the show. Here we go. Melissa, Don, welcome everybody. Hey, if you want to be on the stream and chat and be able to make requests when we get to that part of the show, click the button right here, where it says my little logo thing right down here, wherever, right there, I think it is. Click that button, be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat on the live stream while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, well, you'll have to leave a comment, and I won't be able to take your request probably until next week. This is the only show that I do live requests, just so you know. We've got Jackson Hole. I mean, the things that are probably going to move the market, or be the reason that mainstream media says the market moves. Jackson Hole and FOMC minutes. I mean, that's kind of what we got coming up this week. But if you've been with me for more than a few minutes, you probably know I don't believe in it. It's kind of like the Matrix. Like, I don't believe in any of that stuff. First you have to realize there is no spoon. There is no news that moves the market. It's all, I mean, like the only kind of news that moves the market is like, hey, we're filing for bankruptcy. Well, that's going to go, or hey, we just, figured out how people are going to live to infinity. Well, that stock's going to probably go rocking high if that's actually the truth. So, there's like just a couple of news events. Another one's like, oh, the CEO just got arrested because he had, 2 dead bodies in the back, and the rest of the car was full of cocaine. I mean, and all the rest of the company's money was in the frunk. Well, guess what? That company's probably gonna have a hard time. So, yeah. Anyway, so there's a few instances of news. Airplane flies into buildings in New York City, shut down the market for 2-3 weeks. That's a problem. So there are a few instances of things that cause problems. It's more like events that cause problems, not really news that causes problems. So there you go. I'm mostly a technical analysis guy. If that's not your thing, it's not my bag, baby, then you're probably in the wrong place. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a technical analysis kind of guy. So anyway, that's why you guys love me, right? Forget all the shenanigans. Let's just talk about what's real. So, all trading involves a substantial risk of lost past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. Nothing at all. If you desire that personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. So, what I'm saying basically is don't trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, and don't buy stuff from gurus. Don't buy stuff from people like me. Don't buy stuff from anybody that professes to have the golden egg of all the trades, because they're probably full of crap. Let's be honest. Most of us are full of crap. I mean, like 70% of people are incompetent to do whatever they're doing. So, I mean, it's like the way it is. And liars use statistics, and statistics never lie, right? So, anyway, all the things today. And Jeffrey's full of it because, we've had some conflict in Discord. I'm not going to shy away, but hopefully we got that taken care of. Discord is a community of helpfulness, and when people aren't being helpful, they're being destructive toward other members. Well, had to jump in and take some action. Anyway, don't like to do it, but it's what had to happen. So, and if you missed it, don't worry about it. So we have the FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday. First up, right there. Now, I don't think they say anything that we don't already know. Maybe they're a little more dovish than we think they should be, or a little more hawkish than we think they should be, and they may cause a little bit of knee-jerk reaction and be the excuse. But let's face it, the market has been red hot, smoking off the bottom from 2 Mondays back. So that's almost 2.5 weeks at this point, and we probably could use a little bit easing back on this. Now we'll look at those charts here in just a minute and talk about it before we get to your requests, because that's the main show, right? The main show is your request. So anyway, and then we have Jackson Hole starting up on Thursday, day 1, right here. Jackson Hole, Thursday. And then Friday, we have day 2 of Jackson Hole, right there. And we've got day 3 on Saturday, right there, while the market's closed. But we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 10 a.m. right here on Friday. So that's what, when we look at this right here, that's what I'm talking about, Jackson Hole. That's why that matters. Got Powell speaking on Friday. We've got the FOMC minutes on Wednesday. And then we'll do your requests here when I get there in just a few minutes. So hold off on requests until I get to that part of the show. I'll have some rules I'll throw down for you. And then I'll probably stick around. I'll try to get them all. Usually I can. Lately it's been taking about an hour, but I will do my best to keep everybody up. So anyway. Dun, 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 dun. So this is not the appropriate place. Discord is the appropriate place to talk about Apollo. And there you go. It references a few messages up where I said I made a change to the alerts. Is what it does, what it references. If you're not sure what that meant, maybe you should join the conversation in Discord. So anyway, I'm not on Telegram and I can't answer questions on Telegram. So anyway, that's how it goes. I do make myself available to talk to on Discord, in the Discord server, not privately. And here we are on S&P. Now, I saw some interesting. Now, technically, this was, I guess, depends on how you count it. This was a green close because it was closed higher than the day before, but it was a red candle because we gapped up and closed lower. Interestingly enough, that doesn't actually make it 8 green days in a row. I guess depends on how you look at it, right? Do you just look at it as the close was higher than the prior day's close? Okay, that's a green, positive close. But it wasn't a green day necessarily. So, dun, 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 dun. No, it is not Google Meet. Not even a little bit. Discord is a separate company. It is not part of Google. It's not part of Microsoft. Microsoft tried to buy it out, but they fended it off since it's a private company. They didn't accept the deal, and they remained a private company. So, Discord is Discord, and it is separate from everything else. So right there, those look like the same, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, red. Although this was a red in here. That's like, it's almost like the wrong color candle, right? Green, green, big candle, big candle. Interesting. Anyway, 5 candles, little doji, 5 candles, little doji, 5 candles. I don't know. We'll see. And this morning I was trying to warn that we may see that 15-minute test. Oh, it was on the ES right here. I was on the wrong thing. ES, we were looking at this. It was kind of popping right after the open here. And then right after I quit being live this morning, right down to the roadmap line. And we held up pretty good right there. Now, the thing that concerns me, just show what concerns me here. After we made this move, zoom her up here, make it real nice and big fat. That high, this low, that's the high and low I'm interested in at this moment in time. We rallied up off of that low right into this 61.8% retrace right there. Rejected down, lower high, and closed. Well, we're about to close the day right here. Right there. I guess it did close the day right in there because now it's 5 o'clock and the market will be closed from 5 till 6 o'clock. We will reopen at 6 o'clock and see where we go. So this is interesting we run from this low to this high, we've been holding the 618 so far. This can propel us higher. If this is the low, this is the high, this is, let's just assume that that maintains right there at this point, that low that we have established. This is a higher low at this point. We could shoot on off up here like this on the next move. That could develop into 3, 4, 5, somewhere up here maybe. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Now this could develop into a bigger correction also. Got to watch this 15-minute roadmap line area right there. If you're unfamiliar with the roadmap line, it's one of the main technical analysis patterns I'm going to be using tonight during the show. Link is in the description. It's like $5, and you can go to my YouTube homepage right down underneath me right here on this side, like where my channel name is. You click on that, go back to the homepage. The thing where I'm like, my favorite indicator, it's got like arrows and, you know, has the orange line on it. You can watch that video and it'll tell you how it all works. But I'm gonna do the couple-minute version here, just so we can all be on the same page. And let's go to a different, nice and clean. Let's see. Go to a chart that I don't ever draw on. So we've got the roadmap line, right? Looks like this. The main pattern I'm watching for. All right. When I talk about the roadmap line, this is the primary pattern that I'm looking for. Now, once we have price coming up through, price retracing, you know, this will be full of candles. We will draw a fib line from the high to the low, right? Like that, whatever it might be. You know, this can be sloppy. This is the ideal like look right here. This price, this low has to hit the roadmap line. This high has to be above the roadmap line, some way, some shape, same fashion, same form, right there. And this is the basis for what Apollo is, right? And for many other things. Now, a price move up above the 618 right there is the conservative entry, and that would lead to a move up to the 1272. Now, I like to be conservative on the exit, so I go for 90% of the way to the 1272, which is the 1.1448. So this is the pattern you're going to see me look for a lot of times today. That's the primary pattern I'm kind of looking for. Now, it works upside down also. If you just flip this all upside down, and we can go undo, 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 undo. And if the price goes this way, well, let's curve the line down because that would be more appropriate. If price did this, and then it did this, we may get a continuation lower, which you could draw the fibs this way. And once we break through the 618 here, sometimes it's the 76. Downside moves are a little quirkier. I don't like to trade them as much. They're unreliable, but we would expect the extension down to the 161, the 1448 on the downside like that. This little piece right here. Down to the bottom, and commonly we extend on down to the 1618, you know, quite commonly. Now there's another pattern that I like to refer to, and commonly, very, I guess I refer to it quite often, and I call it the measured bounce. So typically that is a bullish only pattern. While it does work to the downside, I usually only trade it to the upside. It looks like this. Well, hold on. I need the first piece. First, you have to have a trend. Trend being down, big downtrend. This is a reversal pattern. So you get a reversal of the downtrend. But then you get a reversal of the reversal. Yeah, this is getting complicated, right? Then it goes something like this. You know, you draw your fib lines in a similar manner. You know, the roadmap line can be anywhere in here. Typically, it may be something like this. All right. Roadmap line may be sitting like that. Now, it can be anywhere. It's not really part of the pattern. I'm just throwing it out there. So what we're looking for, this downtrend, we find a bottom, we come up, we retrace to a 618. This does work both ways, but I typically only trade it long. And we use the 3-point tool here. This bottom, this top. This bottom at the 618, we typically want it to hit the 618 It's less awesome if it hits this one or this one. And then we look for continuation. And almost always the 1272 is going to get hit. And it's not, we don't have the 1448 in this one. This is a different pattern, different thing here. So typically that 1272 gets hit. Doesn't matter if it's bearish, which would stop at the 1, or bullish, the 1618. A lot of times we get some crossover between the bullish and the bearish pattern. We don't care. If it's bullish, we're going to continue on up. If it's bearish, we may stop short. But if we target that 1272, that's kind of like the awesome sauce. All right. Like, and a lot of trades where I make a lot of money kind of do this pattern right here. One of those that I've got right now, you may see some of the stuff about my giant NEM trade that I've got going on. It's not that much at risk, but it is a dollar-wise pretty big amount of money that I have net open gain, you might say. I mean, you might say, I do say. So here's the deal. This is a weekly chart, right? We made that move, that downtrend. We did this reversal. We did this counter reversal. So remember that pattern I just went over? We had this move down. We have this move up. It's not quite the same proportions, but then we had this retrace right here, right down to the 618, right there. Everybody kind of on the same page here? In real life, it's sloppier than my nice, clean examples with fresh lines. So we've made that bottom, and we run that 3-point fib tool. 3-point tool. If you've never seen it before, trend-based fib extension tool. You find these tools right up here. There's the 2-point tool. There's the 3-point tool. 3-point tool. Point number 1 right here. Point number 2 right here. And point number 3 right here. 3 clicks, 3-point tool. That generates a line, a set of fib lines way up here. Ridiculous levels, I have to say. Ridiculous levels. Talking 167, 265, possibly even 480. Are you kidding me right now? But this is the kind of opportunity that's sitting here. Now the crux of this though, is that maybe my trade out to 2026 doesn't have nearly enough time. This may take 2033, 2035, 2038. Could take a lot longer to get up to these levels. So time is the hardest part of this whole magical thing we call trading. You look back here, this thing's not on a rapid descent. All right, this is not on the NVIDIA going to the moon plan. So this may take longer to get there. I'll be happy if we get to this possibly 100, 110, 120 area right here. I'll probably make a buttload of money. So right there. All right, Jackson Hole thoughts. I don't really care. I think it'll be a catalyst, but I don't think I don't think anything he says matters. What I think the reaction will be, check this out. This will be the spooky thing, right? This will be the spooky thing. Watch this. Watch this. Hold my beer. So we're on a clean chart. I'm not on the chart I draw on all the time. We've got this right here. See that? You may recognize this pattern already. Right there. Right? Coming up. Wow, where's the 618? Right there. We closed above it. What do we expect? Right there. Right there. Somewhere in here. Probably the purple line, but we may extend it on higher. There's a 30% chance we just go cruising right up here. Pretty sweet. It's like 75% we're going to get this. It's about 70% we're going to get this. And about 30% we're going to get that without any major pullbacks. What's a major pullback? That's a major pullback right there. So anyway, that right there, that's a major pullback. So this trucking on, this little guy, no big deal. We may, I kind of discussed this morning, we might rally on up here for the next couple of days. Oh, what would that get us? Maybe Jackson Hole on Friday, and we do, yikes, right back down to this prior high. Oh, Let me grab the, forget I'm drawing with a red tool. Grab this tool right there. Click, click. There we go. That right there. So we may cruise up here through Friday, just kind of grind, then do a pullback, and then do that. Right up in there. Ta-da! So that's my prediction for Jackson Hole. So some kind of could happen as early as tomorrow on tomorrow on the minutes. Could happen tomorrow. Look better. I mean, it looked better if we ground for a couple of days and then we're up here. And tomorrow may be the reason we pop up there and we hang out there Thursday, Friday, and then Powell speaks Friday morning and we retrace back to here, and then we do the final move on up through here. There you go. That's kind of what I expect. I expect we kind of top here. Like I said, there's like 75% chance we're getting here, 70% chance we're getting here, and about 30% chance we're just going to go cruising right on up. Yeah, like that. And tag that. All right. Any questions? Simple as that sometimes. Sometimes it's simple. Now, I don't expect this is bullish market for the next 5 years. Probably not. This is like bullish market maybe through the election. Maybe not even that long. Maybe just into September. Maybe just through Kimberly's birthday. Double points if you know when that is. And that's what we got. Jumping back over. Let's go back to the red list. That's what we hit on Tuesdays. So NQ, retrace to the roadmap line on the 15 minutes. Just kind of sat there, uninteresting, into the close. Held the roadmap line. Yeah. Sledge wanted it to hold. You got what you wanted, at least for today. Russell turned more bearish, though. This one ripped through and went on down to the 30-minute roadmap line before it found support. We've got the 1 hour down here. If this doesn't hold this area right here, this is our small caps. If we don't hold this area, watch out for a retest of this area right here. Probably like that. All right. I mean, you can say a double top, but I think we're gonna make a higher high. It's pretty much in the charts. We're probably gonna make a higher high. It may be a nominal higher high, but probably gonna make a higher high. Now we may react negatively at the prior high for ES, S&P, like I was talking about there a minute ago on the SPX chart. We may come up, same level, react negatively, and then break through. We came all this way. It would be a shame to miss my $6,000 target that I've been talking about for like 2 years, 3 years, whatever. We went through this giant pullback and then come rallying all this way up since 2022, and it would be a shame to miss that 6,000 target by like 400 points. What a shame it would be. So there you go. All right, moving on. And back down here. Oil has been a funky sucker. Funky sucker. So we're in this watermelon seed squeeze thing. Big, giant wedge situation that is my least favorite pattern in the entire set of patterns that I look at and follow. My least favorite. Some I just are downright, I don't even follow at all. This is a pattern I follow, but I don't like because, well, it is pretty unreliable as far as what happens here. So here's what we got. We made a high up here and we retraced here and we moved up. We moved down to so this is like an A wave probably at this point, and because this is doing this garbage right here, it probably means it's a B wave. B waves are usually triangles. That's typically the only place you see them in one way or another. So this means either This was the A wave. This is a B wave, but this might be the A wave. This is the B wave, and then we get a C wave down. C wave down would take us down somewhere here. We've got this target in the 60s. We've got this target in the 50s, and then we've got this extreme target in the 48, 49 area down here. So that's like the extreme target down here. Now, if we take and use the fib tools real quick, that high, this low, this high, 45, 46 right there. Kind of supports that being ugly. So we could see a bigger flush in oil. And that would probably help one of the candidates get not re-elected, but re-elected, if you will. And because that's going to make inflation really light. And big problems in China or something like that could be the reason that we see this. Do this. Now, a war in the Middle East or some sort of shortage or interruption of supply could lead to a breakout. Now, the reason these are unreliable is because, well, I could be completely wrong which way is the beginning. This could be the beginning, this be the second way, and the third way be up. So this is why this is incredibly difficult to predict, because this may be the beginning, this be the retrace, this be the way be and right up here be the pop, and it could take us right up to 122 level. And if we did that, well, that would cause CPI to go through the roof because gasoline prices are still included in there, and one of the candidates would not get reelected. So this may be the biggest influential chart on what happens with the election. Right here. That somebody gets reelected, that somebody doesn't get reelected. And if we hang out in the middle, it's a coin toss. All right. Interesting, no? Yes, maybe, possibly. I think this may be the most influential chart. We'll see what happens. Brent is the price of oil in Europe, and it's following a little more rapidly bearish, less watermelon seed squeezy pattern here. And we've got this ramping up through here, kind of, sort of, maybe following an uptrend of lows, kind of, maybe. We've got the downtrend of highs, but it's not quite as clean. Like, it's not all nice. It's much shorter here with just two that I can connect. Oh, that one and that one. And it looks better when you can connect a whole bunch of highs, and there's just not, it's not a place in here that connects a whole bunch of highs. That one kind of connects 1, 2, 3, maybe, but we're quickly coming to the end of this, and there wasn't a solid entry into this pattern. So that's not clean. So we have this uptrend of lows, and we may flush it one more lower low. This could be very quick. I don't think it's going to flush all the way down here, but it could be very quick. We get a little flush out and go. May make a lower low than we made right back here. One little lower low, and then we get out of here. So, all right. Now, the funny thing, cheap oil doesn't mean cheap gas, but it can. It doesn't necessarily mean cheap gas. But look at this, gas gapping down pretty massively. And you look at futures for oil, they're pricing it dropping down to the 60s. So a pop is not being priced into the future. Oddly enough. Look at gasoline. They have this summer winter ebb and flow here, but they're pricing it dropping back down to $1.80 by 2027. It's not a huge drop from where we are, but it is down in the future. And it did break, and that looks like it's very quickly going to make the lower low, and that can reverse while the price of a barrel of oil, like this, can dip down here and get ripping. This will blow people's minds when the price of gasoline rips while the price of oil is going down. For those of you that trade, that have been in the oil industry, would that not blow people's minds? You can let me know in the chat. Nikki, if you're here. Everett, if you're here. Anybody else that's been in the oil and gas industry. I'm going to clean this off because it's very simple at this point. This could be done here because this was a lower low, but this may dip one more time. Make a nominal lower low. Very well can. Anything lower than that would be the lower low. I'm actually going to set an alert because I'm interested at this point. We make a move down to the $1.90 area, $1.95. Flush it out. Sets it up for the big pop. This could dip and rip very quickly. It'll blow people's minds if it does that. Absolute blow people's minds. Heating oil, diesel fuel. Looks like it may be set for a dip and rip. These have been at odds with each other, these four. They're all kind of coming into alignment that we're going to see a lower low across the four. And then we're probably going to rip. This could be the final flush out here. Natural gas. Measured bounce. We break above that roadmap line. Watch out. The move back up to the $4 area right there, 420. It's cooking. This could take a while. It took a long time last year for it to just rally back up to the roadmap line. Then it took a lower low very quickly. Now we did the same kind of move on an accelerated scale. But we're just cooking right here under the roadmap line. It takes us a while to break through. Like we're coming in this area right here. August, look. August, look at that. Almost to the day. Look, August 9th. We touched. Right there. August 13th. 4 days difference. 4 days difference. Little consolidation. Do a little consolidation. Probably going to pop through. If we do that this time, this will be the resistance, and that's the target up there. 420, if not 5. It's a measured bounce right there. It's that reversal pattern I was talking about. Gold. I guess it was the trading pit closed. Maybe that was, look at that. I was seeing headlines at like 2 o'clock that gold was going to close the day at the highest high ever. The futures did actually close at the highest high ever. That was like 3 hours later, but hey, we did do it. I guess the trading pit closed early, whatever, but futures kept ticking till 5 p.m. and we did get the daily close right there. We'll get the 6 p.m. reopen. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Silver, working on that breakout really, really hard. Somebody, I forget who it was, somebody was very concerned that this may be head and shoulders and a rejection of the 618. We didn't quite touch it on the actual silver futures here. They were looking at a CFD, which is slightly different. Right here we're sitting. Can we break through? I don't know. I am fairly longly exposed, and I don't believe we're going to make a giant lower low. I just don't believe we're going to do it at this point. Silver is lagging gold quite a bit, and it has this habit of very quickly catching back up. Like very quickly. So be careful. Be careful betting against it. Be careful getting long. You can still reject this area and go down. That's still a possibility. I mean, it is. Like it's, even if I don't think it's a very strong possibility at this point, we could still flush down here. Like that's still a possibility to do that. And if you're not seeing the head and shoulders, it's like there's the shoulder, there's the head, here's the shoulder, something like that. A little sloppy. And not the best proportions, but it is in there. And that move down. Look where that puts it. Right on the money. Kind of wild, right? Anyway, still a possibility. There you go. There's the potential to go right down there. Now, can that do that while gold is ripping? I don't know. That's debatable. Up to debate. HG. So we've got a 3-wave move down here. I do know when I refer to 3-wave moves, that's Elliott wave corrections. That could be a bottom right there. 1, 2, 3, right there into that 100%. And we rallied back up to the resistance at the roadmap line here, right there. That can still lead to a lower low than we had back here in July of 22. Now the news that's probably not on the mainstream media news that you may not have heard. I keep seeing reports that the stockpiles of copper are growing by megatons, which is they're metric megatons, which is like millions of metric tons. So it's 1,000 kilograms is a metric ton. So millions of tons. All right, and millions of what is it? Billions of kilograms worth of copper are stockpiling in warehouses in China. That indicates something's amiss here. And if that keeps swelling, we may see this dip down in this area very quickly. Right there. Can be just all of a sudden. I mean, look how fast that went right there. This arrow comes from that move right there. Right there. That happened in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks put us down here, and then we can be done and flush this out. All right, so we got lumber, housing, wheat, corn, sugar, cattle, pork, soy, interest rates. We can talk about all that stuff. I know usually people want to know about Bitcoin before BTC, USD, before I start taking requests. Just a minute, I'll give you the rules before the requests. So Bitcoin popped up, hit the roadmap line from the bottom, and came right back down to the consolidation that we've been in for, gosh, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. It's probably not going to go anywhere not anywhere substantial until we get closer to 220 days from halving, which would be right over here. Right over there. Now we may make a dip and rip, and we could start the rally before we get to here, but we may not break out higher until we get over here. So that may be, now we can always do something different. That's just historically, it takes about 220 days to wind up before we get ripping. And when I say ripping, this is going to potentially go on a large rip. 150 to 300,000 potential. And that could potentially last well into 2026, somewhere like October, like that. And this rip can start back here. It can, we can get one more dip, and then we can get a rip. So it doesn't have to go higher. And there you go. All right, and Ethereum is still consolidating way down here away from the roadmap line, and may get a lower low. It might. Sure looks like it might need it. Sure does. I can make it a case for a little baby head and shoulders and breaking the neckline. Little baby. Right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. It's kind of sloppy, but it's kind of like a head, shoulder. Nice big fat steep line. Could flush it down. That wouldn't even make it a lower low. But there you go. Could be in there. I don't know. Looks sloppy to me. Hard to tell. All right. So the rules on request. I need you to type in all caps. 1 request per person per request. You have to wait till somebody else goes before you can go again. And if you go, somebody else goes, you go again, and somebody else goes, and you go again, I'm probably going to skip your ticker. Give other people a chance to go. All right. And I'm going to use basically the 2 patterns on whatever time frame I feel, probably a daily chart for evaluating your ticker. And I need you to type all caps, use full tickers that I can look up in TradingView. I'm going to use TradingView. And if you got a question about it, like, hey, what about this for a long, like Could you be look at it from the perspective of long or short or whatever? Use complete sentences and all the details. Don't just assume I know what you're talking about. It may be clear to you, but it needs to be clear to everybody what you're asking. So there you go. Ready, set, go. I already see a bunch of tickers. So let's get her at her. And Mara has no substantial change. We're going to go up to the weekly chart because that's where it shows up the most clear. And we're actually going to go to a clean chart on a weekly chart just to demonstrate this potential. It's very clear. This low, this high, measured bounce, potential. We're already like on the way. It could be well out here, 26, before we get up there. Moved up, retraced, potential going up. And we went up at a pretty steep ascent last time. There, right there. We're nearing the ascent. Just depends on which low we actually kick it off from. So we could get up there. And those are pretty ridiculous numbers, in all honesty. Like those, I'm not sure it's going that high. Not really, even a little bit. So what makes more sense would be targets like 102, maybe 130 right there. Take it off log mode. These targets would be more conservative right there and right there. All right. KO. Let's flip back to the other chart. Escape. KO. Here's what we got cooking. It finally broke out. Lee, that took forever. That was going to drive me mad with the sideways consolidation. So we've got that high, that low, and we already did the target. I wouldn't have gotten involved in it because that just took so long to consolidate, and possibly 72, possibly 79, and then we'll probably consolidate some more. And it could do a knee-jerk reaction. It's going a little bit exponential. Last time it went exponential, we took an exponential drop right there. Get up exponential, and watch out for the exponential. I mean, look, every time it goes kind of parabolic, giant pullback. Watch yourself. Can get a little higher, 72, 79, but watch yourself. Giant pullback's probably in the future of Coke. Inium. And right there is the measured bounce. So the target probably out here. Like I said, 2030, 2033, 2034, 2035. Right out here. Long term. There you go. It's probably got this kind of ascent going. Right off here. Somewhere out here. 2031, 32, 33. Up there in the 160 area. DOCU. And jump down. Man, what a sloppy chart. Sloppy chart, sloppy chart. So this was pretty nice as a potential measured bounce back here. And we've continued to go sideways and just kind of muddy it up here. Which reminds me a lot of the Bud chart right here. We can go look at that here in a second. So this right here hasn't really busted the pattern. It's just taking a really long time to do it. We've made this reversal, like we had the downtrend, right? Remember how I started this out? We have this downtrend. We have this reversal right here. It has this retrace, which is taking over out to wherever. I guess that's the lowest low at this point. And we have the potential 1, 2, 3. Over there at that point, target right there. This has been sitting on the chart for 6 months. Still hadn't kicked it off. If we can break above this consolidation right here. Pull over. There we go. Break above that consolidation. Probably going cruising right up there. 69, possibly 76, but 69.90, probably probably where we might top out on that move, which is right where this prior high used to be, and all these over here. Would not surprise me one bit to see some sellers come in right there. Right on the money. Pop it up there and get slammed back down. That's stock U for you, ETSY. Probably going lower. Dumpster fire. Hadn't done a reverse split yet, but downtrend. Don't buck the trend. We're at the first target, second target, right down here at 45. STX did a measure bounce. I mean, not a measure. Did a market roadmap bounce. That high, that low. Bust up through 117, 120 on the upside right there. Did not close above. Remember what I said there. Got to get the daily close. Got to get a candle close above the 618. Did not do that so far. Put it on the actual low. Still did not do that. Closed right at it. Didn't get through. Really close. Really close. Not there yet. HD. Home Depot. Did this big pullback. That's potential roadmap line bounce. Moved up to the 618. Closed above, but rejected. Still a good trade. 412. Taking a long time. If we break through this down, this uptrend of lows, if we break down through the uptrend of lows, say the words in the right order, then we could potentially see a move down to here. So that's the long and that's the short of it right there. Potential for this right there. Those high downtrend highs, if we break through that, probably going right up there. Probably. I don't know that's a watermelon seed squeeze. It just seems to be a little bit, it's like a wind up in the pitch right there. This is a definitive resistance because there was big consolidation right there before we pop the high. Alrighty. That's Home Depot. MU. Ooh, potential. So this is a measured bounce also. And nothing changed from a couple weeks ago. Now the ascent on this one was slow. So it may not go extremely fast. This may be a slow ascent. Could take out to 2026. If you go conservative, there. Go more aggressive, 374. I like that. MUEXAS. EXAS is a medical specialty. So there's four things that there's four things that don't follow patterns. One, biotechs. And that includes anything the FDA is involved in, it's Food and Drug Administration of the United States. That is pharmaceuticals, biotechs, medical tech, med specialties, hospitals, etc. You kind of get so when we see medical specialty right here, that falls in the category of FDA/biotech. You may not agree with me, but that chart looks like a biotech chart. Just a little bit. And that's lower highs so far. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Until we start making some higher highs, this is destined to make a lower low. There's your resistance right up there at 78. Watch out for a drop to 25. Yep. Maybe like, well, no way I go back down there. Yeah, well, yes way, it might. Be careful on EXAS, Celsius Holdings. Going cruising for a bruising. So it depends, log mode or not log mode. Not log mode, we're already below the 618. Log mode. That's cool. Oh, clicking the wrong one. Log mode, we could go a bit lower. What's up here? Right there. And if we don't hold that, well, be cruising them back on down to the single digits. big hurt from doing the split back here. It's at 3 for 1, and then you go back to the single digits. Ouch. Ouch. Anyway. All right. BA. There's not really any update to this. If you've seen this chart, there's no update here. Just hanging. It's hanging between. Here's the support down here around 150, 160. 150, 160. I've got the line right on 160. And here's the resistance right up here. It's two topped out, and the roadmap line right up there, 189-ish, 190. So there's the long, there's the short. We break through either one, it can lead to a bigger move. This is a big 5 up, 618 retrace. That's a measured bounce. Potential target up here. Potential time frame. Long time. And this move back here took years. Took like almost 2 years. This next move, depending on where it bottoms, if it bottoms over here, we'll be looking at 26, possibly even 27. If we go super bullish, could be even 28. Right there. Might take a little while. On Boeing. SLB number is finding support at the line right there. I thought we were going to drop. There it is right there. If we can turn and burn it right there, that'd be good. So far, we haven't broken down. So that move, the first move down, retrace to the 618. It's like that upside down measure bounce thing like I was talking about. Came to the 100%. We didn't get the extension to 39. Said sometimes on the downside they come up short. There you go. Held prior low. Can we hold this area and turn? That's a good question. We're gonna have to break above this roadmap line and this high right there. There's the resistance at this point, right up there at 50. Might be the first indication we're going higher. Next indication, a break through the 618 up here at 55, and possibly 68 on the upside. So SIGA, SIGA. Potential to drop back to that line right there. After we did the extension already. So we did this high, this retrace. We popped up to 1272 and retraced all the way back down. Popped up. Golly, that got really crazy there. Low price stuff. So I said first thing, biotechs. Second thing, low price stuff. Equities, stocks under $10. Don't always follow the patterns. Sometimes they just do crazy stuff like this right here. That high, that low, popped up, reject, may go lower right there. The next move down could be down in this $5 area right there on SIGA. So number 3, leverage stuff. Anything that says 2x, 3x, ultra in the name, like TSLA has 2x in the name, SPXL has 3x in the name, USD has ultra in the name. See it right there, ultra. That means leveraged. So leverage stuff is number 3. Number 4, China stuff, like companies that are in China, like Luckin Coffee, Fuda Coal, PDD, things to be suspect of. They may work, they may not work. Pinduoduo, that's Temu, if you didn't know. You see all those ads for Temu. There you go, Pinduoduo. And China has a different sense of morality and different rules for accounting than regular U.S. companies. U.S. owned and listed companies have a different set of accounting practices that they have to follow, which means that since they have a different morality on what truth is and a different set of accounting rules, that means that they can just make stuff up sometimes, and then the truth comes out and they do crazy moves. So that's what happened with Luckin Coffee. Right down here. Anybody remembers this one? It was cruising, and then somebody said, hey, I think they're making up all their coffee sales. And then it got delisted for a while, and then it got relisted, and then it got delisted, and then it got relisted. And guess who was short? Or I guess who was in some options through the delisting period? This guy. So be careful on China stuff. So, just saying. Just saying. Anyway, it's my 30-second warning on China stuff. And I just skipped the chat. That was pretty smooth. Back to Yum. So right there, potential to rally right there. Kind of set up the move here. Activated. Wonder Twins activate. 146.12 would be the target on Yum. USO is being like oil and probably going to make a lower low. Then this move right back over here has the potential to drop all the way back down to here. That USO possibly even down lower than this back here. Maybe. Maybe lower than that. That's USO for you. SMCI. I don't really have a bullish case at this moment because it's not going to buck CL. And CL looks bearish. SMCI. Hanging. Probably on the path to dropping. As long as we're under the roadmap line. There's the resistance for going higher. And here's support down here where we consolidated last summer into last fall. Right there. Right down there. Maybe like, well, why are you so bearish? So check this out. Check this out. Clean chart, right? Look at this right here. Zoom her up a little bit. Zoom her up a little bit. See this pattern right here, right? Look at this. Consolidation right here. Right there. So if you've never seen this before, right here, psychology of a market cycle. It's a very common pattern. I see this all over the place in the market. Rip. Consolidation. Rip right back down to the bottom. Very common pattern when things get a little overhyped. A little too over the skis. Right there. I don't usually get involved in these in the late game. I've caught a bunch of them in the early game. I've missed a lot of the craziness. And don't usually get involved here. Usually wait till the dust settles if I'm going to get back involved. I have caught a couple of them and ridden them back down, but for the most part, those are pretty crazy. So that's SMCI for you right there. That's probably what I expect. Return back to here. Now that return back to this zone. Clear the drawing. This zone right here would not be unexpected. We could go all the way back down to the 100 area. Just be careful, all right? There can be some consolidation pops and humps along the way. I mean, that's... You see these giant rips and stuff in between there. It's not necessarily just straight up and straight down. Please be careful. Are there other things that are doing that? Absolutely. Looky here. Another one that has that same sort of pattern. Giant rip. So far doing this could do some flip-floppy consolidation for well into next year, right? Just kind of chop in this area. And then take it all back. Entirely possible. Just be careful. Just saying. Just saying. See another one? Whoop. This was a pretty quick consolidation and then right back down. This one's taking a lot longer to work itself back out. It's done it a few times here. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. There's the futures market back open. This one's a notorious ripper. So be careful on those patterns like SMCI. That's the moral of the story. And step. I should go through a few more of these faster here. So step has a giant. Ooh, that is not valid. Not valid. And potential to top out at 56, possibly 78 up there. First step, Amazon. Made a good attempt at going down, and it may still drop on down. So here's the, we got a lot of stuff drawn on here. We made a drop right here, 3-wave fashion, coming up to the 618. If we reject that area with any kind of speed and gusto, watch for that right there. If we can break through, looks like we may go cruising right on up here. 209, 217, 239. Wow. 126 is the downside. There's the long and the short of it on Amazon. IWY. Russell top 200 growth right there. Looks a lot like the S&P chart. Potential to go up to 232, 237, 252 right there. And I'm just curious. That has a 86% probability of working out, profit factor of 5.4. That's pretty highly, based on history, it's fairly likely to work out in your favor for a long up to 232. If you're short, not so good at the moment, but the market can turn on us. PLTR. Boom, right to the target. Boom goes the dynamite. I've still been looking for a bigger pullback because I'm not willing to get in. Because you know what that looks like? A little bit like the bubble pattern there. We went lower. Look, you see it, right? Right there. Consolidates. And took it all the way back to the bottom. They're not all exactly the same, but they all do the same thing eventually. And this one, going again. So it makes me a little nervous over here for this. What did they really change? Nothing. So I hadn't done this up here. Like this target, it was only valid with it retraced back down here, and it didn't do it. So now it did do a roadmap line bounce right there, and it did close that trade out. That was very fast. That high, that low. It already closed it out. There's a possibility, 30%. Then it gets up to 36 here. But I don't know. It's not a high probability thing. So 30%, not what I like to bet on. So be careful, watch out for a retrace. It can do another one of these fast moves back down. Okay, well, that was the crash like 2 weeks ago. And it can flush itself back out again very easily. BKR. Baker Hughes is in this choppy sideways garbage mess, hot mess of a chart. Here's the high, here's the low, and we're just kind of hanging. I just kind of expect it to keep hanging. Not really doing much of anything. And why do you want to get involved in a stock that's been sideways for 2 years, almost 3 years? It's not my thing right there. I'd rather get in one trending. This one, if we can break above the 618 here, has the opportunity to go up to 481, possibly 492 on Microsoft. Yum, already did. And FDX, FedEx. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just clear the charts. So we did the retrace back here, popped up, hit the target, retracing, likely to come back to the roadmap line. If we miss it, It's a lower time frame chart pattern, possibly the 4-hour. If we break above that 618, probably going up to 320, making a nominal higher high, 326 possibly right there. Would feel better about a deeper retrace back down here. Moving the whole thing instead of just the dot. A little further down, gets a little further up, but not much. There's some gaps to contend with. That'll be resistance right there. There you go. That's FedEx for you. And Jeffrey's Financial is at highs, and I would watch out for a retrace. Hasn't done one in a while. Not of any meaningful size. That's probably going to need a retrace. We're probably sitting at fill line extensions. Yep. 58. Watch out for the retrace. Kind of already played out. SWBI has a potential market roadmap bounce right there. 18. It's already spiked up there once. Fired off the entry potentially. Correct that low. Yep. Fired off an entry. Yep. Fired off an entry. Sitting there. The stop out is $1 below the low, and the target is up there at 1878. I am long shares of this from $10. Right down over here. $10 right there. $10. After we did this dip and came back up through, I bought it $10. Sit on these shares, a couple thousand shares. My target is way up here, 70. Smith & Wesson's had stock for, it's one of the longest running ones, I do believe. That, Western Union, and a few other companies. Been around for a long time. Sony, potential to break out and run up to these target areas up here. Had a daily market roadmap bounce set up right here. This high, this low, broke above 99 in the short term. Kick off the bigger pattern with the measured bounce. That's where this target up here and here comes from. 122, 157, right there, 139, 157, 160. Alrighty, that's Sony for you. Uber, Oba. Firing off the entry and the target. Let's just redraw the fib because it doesn't have the 90% of the way there. Conservative exit would be 87, more aggressive 91, more aggressive 105. And PayPal. Spiked up to the target right there. Boom. 70, 72, 71. I had alert go off earlier that said, hey, get out of PayPal. Got a lot of alerts today. Or was it? Where was it? I saw it earlier today. Maybe I deleted it. Maybe it's on the other platform. Oh, those are all active. The fired off ones. The inactive. And based on price. There we go. There we go. There it is. Close the calls. PayPal. $71.95. Right there. All right. That hit the target. What's next? Possibly 74. Possibly the top of the resistance. Right up here. Got this prior consolidation over here. Got some resistance coming up into. If we can blast on through it, well, then we could change the fortune of PayPal. Be pretty good. So far, that was a measured bounce. A measured bounce potential sets it up even more aggressively. Possibly 88, possibly 99. Right there will be the upside targets for a measured bounce. Right there. Possibly 124. So there you go. That's PayPal on the upside. Possible nice upside targets. CVX is consolidating at the low. Not the most positive sign here for doing jack squat. A, B, C. Sideways consolidation for 2 years. 2.5 years. I'm not feeling it's going to do anything. So, there you go. VGR. Vector group. Trying to break outs. But it's just sideways. And sideways for, gosh, six years? Almost. It's just chop. I mean, just sideways chop for years. I wouldn't chase it. Foot Locker, this is in the chart of the week from back in like April, maybe? Somewhere. April, May, somewhere back there. Fired this off. Said, hey, there's a trade. And it's just taking this long to actually start playing out. Target 47.50. Conservative target 40. Aggressive target 90. This pattern's been in the chart for a long time. This was a measured bounce type situation. Bounced. And if it gets really aggressive, boom, 90. Boom goes the dynamite, 90. ETH, Brinker International. Did a restaurant for Brinker. Probably heard me say that before. Got this move down, got this move up. And potential to go lower. Right down in this area. Right there. And held this vicinity right there and flush it down there. Possible. If we can break on higher than 71, may go up to 79 and 82. This is not the most awesomest setup, but Apollo did take that was the trigger. There's the entry. Potential on up there. Yep. So potential trade up to 80 right there. It's my Apollo algorithm. I can check it on any time frame, any chart. KSS is potentially going on down the toilets. When you look, it's just been grinding lower for a couple of years now. Probably gonna flush on down. That's KSS for you. ZS, hate to break it to you. Z-scaler trying its darndest to break above. Has this, so it has this bigger market roadmap bounce. Has this baby market roadmap bounce. 218 would be the upside here. Then potentially kicking off the bigger one, getting the close above the 618. It may do a little retrace before it kicks on off to 279. Right there. This little baby one potentially rallying up to 218 right there. And PAAS. Pause. That makes me think of the Easter egg company. Pause. Anyway, potential bounce right there, and the target is right there, 25, 23. RKLB. Rocket Lab. Well, that did a Rocket Lab thing right there. That company, that high, that low. Boom, right to the 1618. That's a 30% of the time move. Almost sneezed. That's played out so it does something else. It was low price stuff too, below $10. Doesn't always follow the pattern. So don't have much to say. TNA. Dipped on down. Hasn't activated anything yet. The activation would be above 43. Well, 42.86. Gonna have to have a daily close above that to activate 54.63, and it's only 65% likely to go up there based on the history of this pattern setting up. Not the strongest. It means it fails quite often, and the profit factor barely 1. So even with the higher profit profitability percent, it still comes out almost 1-to-1 with the losses. The losses are a little bigger than the gains, but not, I mean, not completely so. It has slight profit factor, but not much. Not much. And coin, I heard that got like a 4% pullback, but that, I mean, like, I don't know why that made the news earlier. I saw like breaking headline, coin got a 4% pullback today. Come on. That candle doesn't look any bigger than any other candle. I mean, like, that candle was bigger than, I don't think it failed to break out. I don't know. I think some people over sensationalize some of these headlines. Coin slammed with a 4% pullback. Come on, that's not even like out of the character of what it's done the last couple weeks. It's just stupid. Just silly. Just silly, Billy. Anyway, this low right here, this high at the roadmap line, we may retrace right back down to the 618 right here. Set up a baby measured bounce before we can bust it out of here. That would potentially set it up for a return right back to the prior high. Then we would consolidate again before we push it on up to the target. Potentially up here around 309, possibly 311, or 331, excuse me, 331, possibly 403. Possibly we get the bigger, much bigger extension here from that high down to this low. Rocking and rolling, possibly way mega levels, 840, 2032, way up there. So one thing at a time, we got to get through the roadmap line. That's where the major resistance is that we're sitting at right here. We may retrace, bust through, get these targets, retrace, retest the roadmap line for the top, and go cruising. That's what I would want to see on coin. MRVL. Sorry if you thought I was going to tell you we're going to make a bunch of money all of a sudden, but it's not the case necessarily. MRVL dipped down. Man, that one, that's a beautiful retrace right there. 3-wave. That move. Look at this. Right there, right at the 618, right? Then we copy this move. And we place it right over here. And we got to the 100% right there. Right on the money. So if we use the fib tool, 3-point tool, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, right in the money right there. And my graphing tools are slightly off, but hey, pretty close. So that's the potential to reverse right there. And you may be like, well, where's the trade? Where's the trade, right? This high, this low. Make sure I clicked on the actual high. We break above this. It's got to be above this consolidation at this point right there. Just above the 628. Doesn't cut the mustard for me. Needs to be above that consolidation for me to feel better. 91, 97 from Marvell. That's chips, not superheroes. Right there. And LITE. Fingers crossed this one works. I've been in this one for a while. I've got long-term calls. Looking for this pop up to 78. I got this February. I think that's what my trading platform said. February. Yeah, right there. And then right there. I got in right over here. Been waiting. It was profitable, and then it was not profitable, and we made a lower low, which kind of sucks because now I have to move this over here. Dips the profit target just a little bit. Got 65, and we're going to move this one up to right there. And then we have 92 as a potential up here. Still expect the same target. Little less awesome potentially. So we have to watch for a stall at 66. If it starts being iffy at 66, time to bail. There you go. That's light. In you. New holdings. Yeah, nice dip and rip. I was hoping for a bigger dip because then we could get a bigger rip, but didn't do it. Didn't do it at this point. So that high, that low, probably coming into resistance here. Low price stuff does come into play. It's been recently under $10. 14, 1480, possibly 16. Be careful. Does not have to rip. So we're sitting at resistance, so it may do another pullback. On NU. BA already covered. MRK is sitting on resistance or on support, excuse me. For breakdown, watch out for a lower low. Like that. Could bounce here. It's gonna have to get above the roadmap line. There's the resistance right in there. Get above that. Potentially going to rip up here. This may take out to 25, 26. Could take a while. Possibly even get up to 164. And possibly, if we break down below this, could come back to 73. That's a big 5 up. This would be a bigger retrace right down here to 73. So there's your resistance. There's your target. There's your target. There's your support. There's your support. Long and the short of it. Nothing super high probability. Roadmap bounces don't necessarily play out all the time. That's why it's not an alert service. It's not something I offer. I do take trades on it all the time. Some of the biggest trades I make are all measured bounces, but they're just not high probability. A lot of them fail. So if you go around chasing measured bounces, you're probably gonna take a bunch on the chin. That's why I tend to risk a small amount for a large gain, not just chase any of them that I find. So, Lulu. Well, I got down to the target. It could go a little lower. Looks like it may have bottomed out finally. Maybe. See what we get to. If I can bust back up through the roadmap line, we can be talking about some potential upside, but right now, looks like we got to the bottom, potentially. Could go a little lower. That touched right on the money. Right on the money. Like, beautiful. That was a beautiful hit right there. So we gotta watch for that to break above. What I want to see to get a trade out of this, move up here, break above, retrace back down, and break back through, get the get the roadmap bounce going right there. It would not be a measure bounce, that'd be a roadmap bounce right there, if it can do it. And hell. I did BA. I skipped BA because I already did BA. If you missed it, use the slider right there. And Hal probably coming back. Oh, that's the wrong Hal. It's the Indian Hal. That is sideways for years and years and years. Probably gonna go back to the bottom of the box. When they're doing this, what do you expect them to do? Just continue until something changes. When does it change? I don't know. It's not worth trying to guess. So many other things to pay attention to in the trade. That's not one of them. EA. I'm guessing we're looking for EA. Electronic Arts, not EA, whatever that was. Estate auctions in BFE. And got a pretty solid level here. Don't seem to be able to crack that level right there. That looks like it would be the COVID drop, but that was the COVID drop. Unable to break out higher. Something crawled across my arm. There you go. I don't know. Doesn't look like a breakout to me yet. Could it break out? Maybe. Doesn't look very high probability at the moment. Struggling. At the extensions, it may need another retrace before we can do it again. Try to break through. It's got a lot of resistance there. I mean, that's built up resistance since 2018. We got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20, almost 20, 6 years of getting near 7 years of resistance here. That's tough to break. And CLBT. Yeah, there's not really anything to draw on here. That's already played out. That's a funky chart. There's not much to... It needs a retrace. Like, this could be nearing a play out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's kind of... I would be afraid this is nearing completion. We may get another 4 or 5, but... Yeah, let's watch for another retrace, another little final move, and then we'll probably retrace bigger. Maybe like it may do this, may do this little correction, another one of these after there, and then we may get a bigger pullback like this before it can do something bigger like this. CLBT. That's a hard, difficult chart. Snow, there's no update to it. There's no, it hadn't done anything to convince me it's doing anything but lower highing right now. I did buy 1 share just because I said I was going to buy a share when it made a lower low, when we were all the way back up here at 200, whatever. Made a lower low. I'm optimistic we're going to reverse. This is not a reversal pattern so far. Don't have any of the stuff. Remember the measured bounce, all that thing? Like, we haven't done any of that stuff yet. It's just bounced. There's no retrace. We came down. This was a giant downtrend. You look, zoom out. This was a giant downtrend. All we've done so far is just a little bitty hop off the bottom. So, kind of crazy. We finally did make the lower low that I said. We touched just the top. We could still go lower. That's why I've only bought 1 share. Still at lower highs. Still below the roadmap line. Still have not made any kind of upside progress. We only touched the minimum to satisfy the lower low. We did not get any kind of extension down to 89. Be careful. That's snow for you. TLT. Potentially going on a run up to the 112, 118 area. Got to break above this prior high. Then we've got that high in between. And then there you go. And I just skipped a bunch of the chat. NATL. Well, that's only got that much roadmap line. And probably going to retrace. AAPL just bounced. Kicked off the entry. Probably going up to 243, possibly 249, possibly 266. That's a 75%, 70%, and 30% with a naive statistic. Look at the actual ones. 77% likely to hit that. Still probably 70% and 30, 40%, 30, let's say 35%, between 30 and 40% to get the move on up there without getting another retrace of that size. So we could easily retrace off of one of these right there. All right, that's Apple for you. Could it fail? Yeah, it could fail. It's been on one heck of a tear. And it can retrace pretty deeply. KGC. is on a path for getting up to $12.40 if it's going to do it. Not necessarily convinced. It is low price stuff under $10. And RIVN is low price stuff under $10. Probably going lower, $6. Won't surprise me if they go bust. I don't care how many dollars any princes are willing to put into this one. They may hold on, but they may not hold on. I mean, Nikola already went out of business. Was it in NIKA? Something like that. I don't remember. In Nikola. Anyway, NVIDIA. Simple as this right here. Look, if we reject this area down here, if we can cruise on through, and we've got this resistance all the way up in there, makes it pretty tough because that's not much room between there and the target, but 150, 158, possibly 184 on the upside. I wouldn't touch it. I touched it at 15, got out at 30. That was pre-split. So that was 150 to 300. That's before we split 10 for 1. I was in down here with the measured bounce right here. That move up, that retrace, measure bounce. Come on, come on, come on. Right there, got in right there. I rode it up to 300 area. When we gapped up here, I got out. You're like, well, you missed out on all that extra. Yeah, I don't really care. It was a good trade. I doubled my money on shares. That was pretty good. Pretty darn good. So now I wait because it looks like the bubble pattern. Bum, 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 UPST. Why are these stupid buttons on here? And that's lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Watch out for that to dip right back down. I mean, that's the bubble chart. You see it? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Like GME keeps doing it over and over. Why do you think this time is different? Could you make a bunch of money? Sure. Do you really think this time's any different than before? I bet you we come right back down. And LUMN. I'm not a hype man. I'm not going to hype bullcrap stocks. This is a giant dumpster fire of a stock. It's been down forever. It's another one that's like, oh, this one took a long time to consolidate out, but right back down. Can we turn it around? Maybe. Is it likely? Not really. Make a heck of a story, but the giant consolidation up here to break through. And more than likely to reject off of that and drop. There's probably bag holders up here ready to sell, sell, sell. If that pops up there. Starbucks, SPUX. It did the measure bounce. So this is a potential measure bounce. Went really deep for it. Potential for it to break above and get running. Potential. Gotta pull my targets down just a little bit. 147 possible still. Same target didn't really adjust much, just slightly. Save it. So there you go. There's still potential for it to drop on down, make a lower low. But there you go. Won't be a confirmation we're going higher until we break this up here. We stopped in this resistance where we consolidated before this big drop. And I am long a couple calls out to 2026. And Avalanche is still looking pretty crappy and may go lower. And Solana still consolidating on the roadmap line and waiting, just like Bitcoin. Didn't fail to break out and just sitting right there on the roadmap line. Nothing. No indication it's going bullish or bearish. Hog is sitting sideways. A giant sideways consolidation. Nothing. Nothing at all. I wouldn't bet that's going anywhere. That's even lower highs, even like slightly lower high, lower high, lower high. It's kind of bearish. MSTR. It was looking good this morning, and then Bitcoin turned south, and same consolidation it's had for 10 days, just like Bitcoin. Sitting right on top of the roadmap line, nothing. Potential trade above 153, looking for 193. Otherwise, nothing. Nothing at all. And XLY. Well, nothing changed from this morning. That's still the same trade it was this morning. 198 on the upside. OXY or OXY. Oxy still looks pretty horrible and probably going to make a lower low. There's the floor. Bottom, 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 bottom. If we break down, we may get a bigger flush. That was a retrace to the 618. Be careful. This can go down while oil finds a bottom. Find a bottom right down in here. Don't chase Warren Buffett. That's the moral of that story. And maybe you're just so fast I don't see you do it, but it seems like you do the from this high to this hello. You can always slow it down and watch it slow motion. That's the beauty of YouTube. And SVIX, SVIX. YouTube has a slow motion function. You can watch me in slow-mo. I have the little cursor, so the point of this is to not teach you how to do analysis, but to do analysis for you. And that's why it's a request show. I gotta go fast. So potential to rally up. We've got resistance at the right at the roadmap line and the 618. Potential for this to go lower, like this, down to this area potentially. If it's going to bust down lower, right, like right there on the SVIX. LUNR, lunar. Well, that thing went a little crazy, and I guess they're getting ready to do something again there. But that's the same bubbly looking pattern, right? Like big giant pop, drop, little pop, drop, babier pop, probably gonna drop. Could it get out of this funk? Maybe. Does it look very likely? Nope. Sure don't. All right. That is the bottom of the list. And one that's been growing crazy, ASTS, just to get this out there. Look at that. Another bubble pattern. Watch out for the drop. Pop before, drop, pop, 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 drop, pop again. Might drop. Be careful. Could this be the one? Maybe. Maybe. Doesn't look very likely. Looks like the bubble pattern once again. Now the bubble pattern can go absolute crazy. It can, the sky's the limit. It can go all the way up off the train and come right back down. Be careful. Be careful. Can't tell you how many times to be careful. And, well, I'll see you first thing in the morning. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel. Make sure that you give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, all the things. If you liked anything I said, you found it helpful, useful, I'll be back live first thing in the morning. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 in the morning, as always, every day, every weekday.